Super 3D Noah's Ark is a 1992 boomer shooter developed by Wisdom Tree that runs on the Wolfenstein 3D engine and received a Steam port in 2015, and that is what I played. I myself never really played Wolfenstein 3D, but I did see some Steam reviewers saying it's better than Wolfenstein in some ways. I guess I'll start today's review off with gameplay. Well, it's a first-person boomer shooter. You try to get from point A to B while searching for keys when needed and finding secrets and new weapons while fighting various enemies. Okay, sounds good. In Super 3D Noah's Ark, you shoot restless animals with fruit to make them fall asleep. I'm not kidding, that's the game. This title consists of 6 levels, each with various numbers of floors, or sub-levels, and every level ends with a boss animal, such as an elephant or a giraffe, and each is progressively harder than the last, with the bear as the final boss on level 6, who's a bullet/fruit sponge. Apart from the bosses, the enemies consist of sheep, rams, bulls, ostriches, how do you say plural ostrich, and gazelles, which all have a ranged attack where they spit on you and a melee attack where they headbutt you. You, on the other hand, have a basic slingshot, a slightly stronger slingshot, a machine gun slingshot contraption thing. I have no idea what it's called, but these 3 all draw from the same ammo stockpile. You also have a burst fire cantaloupe launcher and a watermelon catapult, and your melee attack is snapping your fingers at the animals. But really, a 3-round burst cantaloupe launcher? That needs to be on Killing Floor 3 or the upcoming Doom Game 1. Pure genius. But one thing I disliked about this game was that the game stopped giving you new weapons and enemies after level 4, not counting bosses, and after that the game really started to feel like one giant level, as again, you were fighting the same enemies with the same weapons, and each level cosmetically looks pretty much the same. To make matters worse, the only reliable weapon is the machine slingshot, so levels 4 through 6 pretty much feel like one giant drawn out level that you can really only beat with a single weapon, and ammo becomes really scarce on the latter half of level 5 and pretty much all of level 6, and you'll really be struggling and having to conserve ammo. While animals do sometimes drop more fruit, it's not much, and the longer you progress, the less frequent ammo stashes and health packs, or band-aids, become. Now, in a lot of other shooters, what do you do to conserve ammo? Well, you either have a weak infinite ammo weapon you can use, or a melee attack. While this game has a melee attack, your finger snapping, it's so weak it's pretty much useless. You have to bum rush an animal and snap your fingers at least 5 times, I think, before it decides to take a nap. I don't know, maybe the devs could have added a giant carrot sword or something halfway effective for melee combat, but nope, you just got finger snapping. And this game is definitely harder than it looks, and from what I read on Steam reviews, I'm not alone here. Most people seem to think, a boomer shooter for kids about the Bible, piece of cake. I initially started the game on normal difficulty, then turned it down to easy, then to very easy, and still often struggled. So yeah, this game is way harder than it looks, and less than 6% of Steam players have ever actually beaten this game on Steam according to achievements. Another thing I want to discuss are secrets. I remember Quake had secret areas where you could find armor and stuff like that. Super 3D Noah's Ark has useless fruit collectibles, Bible questions, and some sort of blue orb with a picture of someone's head, and I never figured out what those did. Now, the Bible questions were very useful. You got a little bit of ammo and health replenished for simply finding them, and even more if you got the question right. Some were true or false, some gave you a choice of 3 answers, and honestly put my knowledge of the book of Genesis to the test, and I embarrassingly got quite a few questions wrong. But to be fair, some of them were rather picky questions about smaller details in the story. One thing I did not like about this game in the later levels was the level design, as the devs kinda turned it into a giant first-person puzzle. While you do have a map to help you out, some of the puzzles really did feel excessive at times. Graphics-wise, I haven't played many games from this time era of gaming, but I guess it looks nice. My wife saw me playing this and said it reminded her of Minecraft. I guess I can kinda see that, but the soundtrack to this game was beyond awful and made me feel like I was losing my mind. From what little I put up with, it's the same 5-second audio clip on nonstop replay. I spent most of my time playing without volume. Now, performance-wise, this game did crash on me several times, but that could just be because I was saving a lot. I don't know, but something to keep in mind if you're looking to purchase this game. But besides that, it overall ran just fine. I don't remember any lags or hiccups outside the crashes, and the controller support worked pretty well, although at times it did feel like Noah was on roller skates and he'd sometimes be slowly drifting to the side even if I wasn't touching the joystick. As far as I can tell, this isn't an issue with my controller, as this is the only game I've recently played that gave me this issue. But it didn't happen that often and really wasn't a big deal, so I'll let it slide. On the topic of game length, this title took me about 3 hours to beat, and I'd say was worth my time, although if someone was skilled and experienced enough, they could probably speedrun this title in less than half my time. Overall, I think Super 3D Noah's Ark earns a 8.4 out of 10 from my grade scale. Not the best boomer shooter out there, but it's a decent game and is able to stand on its own two legs. A couple similar games I'd suggest would be the original Quake and a game I'm playing through right now called Blood and Bacon. I did recently review another game by the same development company called Spiritual Warfare, and I'll have a link to that review in the end card and the description if you want to check that out. But this is a far superior title and also less expensive. Its normal price is $9 on Steam, I think, but I got it on a sale for less than $3, with an additional discount for already owning Spiritual Warfare. Anyways, that's all from me for today, folks. I hope somebody enjoyed my retro review. For anyone new to my channel, I largely just play, review, and discuss zombie and horror games, with sometimes different topics like today. But feel free to check out some of my other content if that sounds interesting. Thanks for watching. Always remember that God loves you all very much. Peace.